I unlocked the door quietly, holding the ultrasound envelope in one hand and a stupid smile on my face. "Elena?" I called. No answer. I stepped inside. Her shoes were by the door, his jacket on the chair. Then I heard her laugh. I walked toward the bedroom. Laughter again, man's voice. No way. I opened the door. They froze. Marcus sat up in the bed, shirtless. Elena grabbed the blanket, eyes wide. Her mouth opened, but nothing came out. The envelope slipped from my fingers. "Wow," I said. "You couldn't even wait until I got back from the clinic." "Listen," Marcus started. I turned to him. "Shut up." Elena looked at me, then down at the sheets. "You weren't supposed to be back so early. That's what you have to say?" I whispered. "You're in bed with my best friend and that's what you lead with?" "It's not what you think," Marcus stood up. I clenched my fists. "Oh, really? Because it looks like betrayal from where I'm standing?" Elena's voice cracked. "You've changed, ever since the baby." I stared at her. I changed. "I've been trying to get my life together for the baby. For us. You've been distant, obsessed with responsibility. I just needed something else." I shook my head. "So you picked him?" Marcus stepped closer. "It wasn't meant to happen, man. Just, you're my brother," I snapped. "We grew up together. I trusted you." He looked down. "I didn't mean to hurt you." "But you did." Lena's eyes were wet. "Now, we didn't plan it." I laughed. It sounded empty. "Stop saying that like it makes this better." She wiped her face. You're too much now. Always stressed, always tired. You're not the same." "Because I'm going to be a dad? I don't get to party and pretend life's easy anymore." She looked away. "You were dragging me down." My chest tightened. "So you thought screwing Marcus would lift you up?" I needed to feel alive again. "I guess my pain is just the cost of your freedom." Marcus put a hand on her shoulder. "Maybe you should go." I looked at him. "No, you should go." He stood there like a coward. I said, "Leave." He grabbed his shirt and brushed past me. I stood there, staring at her. She looked small, guilty, but not sorry enough. "I brought this to show you." I bent down and picked up the envelope. "Your baby, our baby." She didn't reach for it. "You really don't care, do you?" I asked. "I don't want this life," she said quietly. "Not with you." I nodded slowly.
Thanks for being
honest. Finally, I turned around. "Where are you going?" she asked. "Out," I said, "far away from both of you." She didn't stop me. The door slammed behind me. I walked down the stairs numb. My legs shook, couldn't breathe. Sat on the curb, stared at the ultrasound. A tiny, blurry shape. I touched it with my thumb. "Hey," I whispered. "I guess it's just us now." People walked past, laughing, talking, living their lives. My life just cracked open like glass under pressure. I wanted to scream, but my mouth stayed shut. My phone buzzed Marcus. I blocked him, then Elena called. Blocked. Her too, there was nothing left to say. The wind picked up, carrying cold air and broken promises. I wiped my face. One tear fell onto the ultrasound photo. I held it tighter. "I won't let you down," I whispered to the picture. "Even if she did. Even if he did. I won't." The sun was setting, and I had no idea where I was going next. But I knew one thing for sure. I wasn't going back. Asterisk, Mr. Sims. I just need a few more days. He crossed his arms. 2 months late, I've been more than fair. I swear I'll pay you back. I've been looking every day. Please. He shook his head. "You're a nice kid. But I got bills too. Can't run a charity." I looked down at my shoes. "Can I at least stay till the weekend?" "Nope. I already got someone lined up. You need to be out by tonight." I stared at the ceiling, swallowing hard. "Right. Good. Luck, son." He turned and walked away like I didn't matter. That was the last roof I had. I packed everything into a torn backpack, some shirts, the ultrasound, a cracked phone, and my father's old watch, the only thing of value I had left. I'd slept on friends' couches for a few days, then floors, and nothing. "Hey, sorry, man. My girl's moving in." "Can't have you here anymore," Kevin mumbled, not meeting my eyes. "No worries," I lied. I walked out with the last of my pride in my pocket and hunger in my stomach. I applied everywhere: restaurants, stations, janitor gigs, night shifts. Over 30 places, no one called. One manager actually laughed. "You look like you haven't eaten in a week." "Maybe I haven't," I muttered. He didn't hear me. Or didn't care. I spent hours at a public library charging my phone, staring at job boards, nothing. My stomach growled again. I checked my wallet. 3 crumpled dollars. I pulled out Dad's watch. Silver worn. Still ticking, you'd understand, right? I whispered. But I couldn't do it. Not yet. I slid it back into my pocket. The diner smelled like heaven. Bacon toast, fresh coffee. I walked in and took a seat at the far corner booth. A waitress walked over, blonde ponytail, tired eyes. "I'd smile you." "Look half dead," she said. I nodded. "Close enough." She placed a menu down. "You ordering? I've got $3." She blinked. "That won't get you much, I know." She leaned closer. "I'm not supposed to do this, but..." She slid a plate of toast and eggs in front of me. "Eat on me." I stared at it. "Why?" "You look like someone who needs a win." I picked up a fork. "Thank you, Claire." I'm trying," I said, tears suddenly threatening to fall. "I've got a kid coming. Home, no job, no idea what I'm doing." She sat on the edge of the booth. "You're still here. That counts for something." I ate slowly, like it was the last meal I'd ever get. "Come back tomorrow," she whispered. "If I've got leftovers, I'll hook you up." "I don't deserve that." "Maybe not, but your kid does." I nodded, mouth too full of food and feelings to say anything. That night I sat behind the gas station, knees tucked to my chest, ultrasound in my lap. "You hear that?" I whispered. "Someone was nice to us today." The wind was cold, but I didn't move. "You're not even born yet, and you're already my only reason to breathe." The stars looked so far away. I touched the photo. Wish I could do better. "For you, I'm sorry." My stomach cramped again. The food had worn off. I pulled out the watch, held it, turned it over, pressed the glass against my forehead. "I can sell it tomorrow. Just enough for a couple meals, maybe a place to crash." But my hands wouldn't let go. I stuffed it back in my pocket and laid on the concrete. The ground was hard. My future was harder. "You're going to be okay," I whispered. "I don't know how, but we will." I closed my eyes. That lie kept me breathing. Asterisk. "Breathe," I muttered to myself, gripping the edge of the conference table. "You okay?" Jordan whispered beside me. "Yeah, just nerves." Mr. Ward cleared his throat. "All right, Noah, you're up." Stood. My palms were damp. Voice, somewhere between a whisper and a croak. "Thanks, Mr. Ward." Team." I clicked the remote. So my proposal focuses on streamlining the client onboarding process. Slides changed. Eyes stared. I felt sweat pooling at the base of my neck. And then there it was. A flutter. Low, strange. Impossible, I stopped, mid-dash sentence. Someone shifted in their chair. Mr. Ward raised an eyebrow. "Is there a problem?" he asked. I blinked, then pressed a hand to my stomach, completely forgetting where I was. "What's wrong?" Jordan whispered. I whispered back. She blinked. "Wait, seriously." I nodded slowly, my throat closing. "The baby." "Just now." A few people exchanged looks. I cleared my throat. "Sorry. Where was I?" "Write the automated response emails." I forced myself to finish. Words blurred. The numbers sounded fake even to me. I couldn't focus. Couldn't think. Could only feel. That one little thump in my belly echoing. Louder than anything else. When it ended, people clapped politely. Mr. Ward nodded. "All right. Let's break for lunch." I walked out stiffly, head down, straight to the bathroom. I locked the stall door, sat on the toilet lid, and broke. My chest heaved. My shoulders shook. I buried my face in my hands and cried not. because I was weak. But because I didn't know what else to do, that kick, that reminder, that tiny proof that I wasn't alone in this body. The door creaked open, then a knock, soft, measured its ward. "Can I come in?" I cleared my throat, wiped my face, and pushed the door open just enough. "Sorry," I mumbled. "I just needed a minute." He stepped inside and leaned against the wall, arms crossed. "You nailed the opening, by the way." I gave a weak laugh. Felt like I was underwater. He nodded. "I've pitched while running a fever. Once while passing a kidney stone that puts things in perspective. Jordan told me," he said, "the baby kicked." Nodded. "That you're first." "Yeah, hell of a moment to feel it." My voice cracked. I wasn't ready. "Whoever is." I looked away. She left. My ex, Alina, she said I was a burden. He didn't flinch, just listened, and my best friend Marcus slept. With her behind my back, still no judgment in his eyes. I had nothing. No home, no money, just this little heartbeat in a watch I almost sold for dinner. He finally spoke. And now I have this job. A cot in a shelter. An unborn kid that kicks during my presentations. He smiled. "Sounds like progress. You're not weirded out by this?" "No, not even the crying." "I've cried in this stall too, kid." I blinked. "Seriously? After I fired my brother-in-law?" Laughed. "Wow." He stepped forward. "You've got two choices, Noah. Let the pain crush you, or let it push you." "I'm trying. Try harder." I looked up. "I'm scared." Good means it matters. The silence settled like a friend, not a threat. "You're not alone in this place," he said finally. "You show up, you work, and you tell the truth. That's more than most." I nodded. "Thanks. Take the rest of the lunch break." "Clear your head." I wiped my face again. "I'll make up the time tonight." He opened the door. "You'd better." That night, I stayed late past everyone. Claire texted around 8 o'clock. "You alive?" I replied, "Working." "The baby kicked today." She responded with a heart emoji, "and it told you you'd be a great dad." I stared at those words until the screen dimmed. Bye. 10 o'clock. I was still at my desk, reworking the entire pitch deck. "Hey," came a voice from the shadows. "Mr. Ward again. You planning to move in? Just cleaning it up?" He walked over, leaned down, and glanced at my edits. "You fixed the data accuracy slide," he said. "Good. I want to be better, not just passable, actually good." "You've got the fire. That's rare." I looked at him. "Can I ask something?" "Shoot." "Why'd you hire me?" "Really?" He shrugged. "You were honest. You didn't pretend. And you looked like a guy with something to prove. Because I am." "Good," he smiled. "Keep proving it." After he left, I whispered to the dark office. "Did you feel that today, kid? That was you? It changed everything?" Another flutter reel or imagined I took it as an answer, and I kept typing, "Asterisk you shaved," Claire said, smirking. "Didn't want to scare the investors," I replied, adjusting my collar. She handed me my coffee. "You've officially joined the clean-cut crowd. Do I look like I know what I'm doing?" "No," she said, laughing. "But you fake it better than most." I walked out with her laughter still in my ears. That morning, I pitched to 2 potential partners. They asked tough questions. I answered sharper, cleaner, louder. Afterward, Mr. Ward clapped my back. "They liked you." "I liked me," I said before I could stop myself. He raised an eyebrow. "That new cologne talking?" I grinned. "Maybe. You've changed? Trying to become the guy I needed back then?" Ward nodded. But pride didn't erase the pit in my stomach. I passed a baby store on the way home. The window had a tiny blue onesie with stars and clouds. I stood outside too long. Inside, the cashier smiled. "Need help?" I blinked. "Yeah. First kid. Congrats." "How far along?" 27 weeks. "Boy or girl?" I hesitated. "I don't know. It's complicated." She softened. "Everything okay? Honestly?" I whispered. "No idea." I walked out with a bag full of soft cotton and plastic hangers shaped like bears. Then, I sat on the bench outside the store holding it all and cried. Claire found me there 20 minutes later. You didn't text, she said. Didn't want to cry in front of anyone. She sat beside me. Too late. I wiped my face. I keep buying stuff like it'll make me ready. Doesn't work like that. I know. Being ready doesn't mean having answers. It means showing up. I looked down at the tiny socks. What if I mess everything up? You will. Thanks. But you'll love them. That's what matters. I whispered, I already do. Claire smiled. Then you're doing fine. Later that night, I sat on my cot and took out the clothes again. I laid them out like armor's maul, fragile pieces of proof that I wasn't running anymore. At work the next day, Jordan caught me staring into space. You okay, boss man? Just tired? You've been promoted twice in 3 months. Doesn't happen unless you're obsessed. I smirked. Is that a complaint? No. It's admiration disguised as sarcasm. Mr. Ward pulled me aside during lunch. Come walk, he said. We stood in the courtyard. Sun low, city buzzing behind us. You've come a long way. Feels fake sometimes. Because I'm still scared every day. He said. I looked at him. I've got 2 kids, he explained. One in college, one who thinks glitter is a food group, still scared. Every single day. I let out a breath. What do you know, you're doing it right? Don't. But if you care enough to ask, you're already doing better than most. The next Saturday, Claire dragged me to a parenting class. I frowned. There'll be couples there, she smirked. And I'm not a couple, I'm a walking question mark. You're a parent. Sit down. We sat in a circle of glowing bellies and matching rings. I felt like a fraud. A woman spoke. I'm afraid I won't be enough. A man said, I'm scared I'll mess up my son the way my dad messed me up. Another whispered, I don't even know if I want to do this. And I realized I wasn't the only terrified one. When it was my turn, I stood. I'm Noah. I'm Noah. Not with the mother. She left. But I'm still here. And that's gotta mean something, right? A few people nodded. Claire touched my arm. It means everything. We left with pamphlets, phone numbers, and leftover cookies. You did good, she said. I didn't even cry. Growth. That night, I sat with a notebook open. I wrote letters. One for the hospital. One for the future. One for the kid, just in case. I wrote, you don't know me yet. But I've already given up sleeping in, junk food, and my worst fears. For you. The next week, Ward handed me a project lead role. You earned it, he said. I'm not sure I'm ready, he grinned. You said that 3 promotions ago. And I took the reins. Meetings, deadlines, pitch decks. But every night, I went home to my bag of baby clothes and whispered stories into the dark. We're gonna be all right, I'd say, even if I don't have all the steps. Sometimes I swore the baby kicked harder when I told the truth. I unlocked the door quietly, holding the ultrasound envelope in one hand and a stupid smile on my face. Elena? I called. No answer. I stepped inside. Her shoes were by the door, his jacket on the chair. Then I heard her laugh. I walked toward the bedroom. Laughter again, man's voice. No way. I opened the door. They froze. Marcus sat up in the bed, shirtless. Elena grabbed the blanket, eyes wide. Her mouth opened, but nothing came out. The envelope slipped from my fingers. Wow, I said. You couldn't even wait until I got back from the clinic. Listen, Marcus started. I turned to him. Shut up. Elena looked at me, then down at the sheets. You weren't supposed to be back so early. That's what you have to say? I whispered. You're in bed with my best friend and that's what you lead with? It's not what you think, Marcus stood up. I clenched my fists. Oh, really? Because it looks like betrayal from where I'm standing? Elena's voice cracked. You've changed, ever since the baby. I stared at her. I changed. I've been trying to get my life together for the baby. For us. You've been distant. obsessed with responsibility. I just needed something else. I shook my head. So you picked him? Marcus stepped closer. It wasn't meant to happen, man. Just, you're my brother, I snapped. We grew up together. I trusted you. He looked down. I didn't mean to hurt you, but you did. Lena's eyes were wet. Now, we didn't plan it. I laughed. It sounded empty. Stop saying that like it makes this better. She wiped her face. You're too much now. Always stressed, always tired. You're not the same. Because I'm going to be a dad, I don't get to party and pretend life's easy anymore. She looked away. You were dragging me down. My chest tightened. So you thought screwing Marcus would lift you up? I needed to feel alive again. I guess my pain is just the cost of your freedom. Marcus put a hand on her shoulder. Maybe you should go. I looked at him. No, you should. Go. He stood there like a coward. I said, leave. He grabbed his shirt and brushed past me. I stood there, staring at her. She looked small, guilty, but not sorry enough. I brought this to show you. I bent down and picked up the envelope. Your baby, our baby. She didn't reach for it. You really don't care, do you? I asked. I don't want this life, she said quietly. Not with you. I nodded slowly.
Thanks for being
honest. Finally, I turned around. Where are you going? She asked. Out, I said, far away from both of you. She didn't stop me. The door slammed behind me. I walked down the stairs numb. My legs shook, couldn't breathe. Sat on the curb, stared at the ultrasound. A tiny, blurry shape. I touched it with my thumb. Hey, I whispered. I guess it's just us now. People walk past, laughing, talking, living their lives. My life just cracked open like glass under pressure. I wanted to scream, but my mouth stayed shut. My phone buzzed Marcus. I blocked him, then Elena called. Blocked. Her too, there was nothing left to say. The wind picked up, carrying cold air and broken promises. I wiped my face. One tear fell onto the ultrasound photo. I held it tighter. I won't let you down, I whispered to the picture. Even if she did. Even if he did. I won't. The sun was setting, and I had no idea where I was going next. But I knew one thing for sure. I wasn't going back. Asterisk, Mr. Sims. I just need a few more days. He crossed his arms. 2 months late, I've been more than fair. I swear I'll pay you back. I've been looking every day. Please. He shook his head. You're a nice kid, but I got bills too. Can't run a charity. I looked down at my shoes. Can I at least stay till the weekend? Nope. I already got someone lined up. You need to be out by tonight. I stared at the ceiling, swallowing hard. Right. Good. Luck, son. He turned and walked away like I didn't matter. That was the last roof I had. I packed everything into a torn backpack, some shirts, the ultrasound, a cracked phone, and my father's old watch. The only thing of value I had left. I'd slept on friends' couches for a few days, then floors, and nothing. Hey, sorry, man. My girl's moving in. Can't have you here anymore, Kevin mumbled. Not meeting my eyes. No worries. I lied. I walked out with the last of my pride in my pocket and hunger in my stomach. I applied everywhere: restaurants, stations, janitor gigs, night shifts. Over 30 places, no one called. One manager actually laughed. You look like you haven't eaten in a week. Maybe I haven't, I muttered. He didn't hear me. Or didn't care. I spent hours at a public library charging my phone, staring at job boards, nothing. My stomach growled again. I checked my wallet. 3 crumpled dollars. I pulled out Dad's watch. Silver worn. Still ticking, you'd understand, right? I whispered. But I couldn't do it. Not yet. I slid it back into my pocket. The diner smelled like heaven. Bacon toast, fresh coffee. I walked in and took a seat at the far corner booth. A waitress walked over, blonde ponytail, tired eyes. I'd smile. You look half dead, she said. I nodded. Close enough. She placed a menu down. You ordering? I've got $3. She blinked. That won't get you much, I know. She leaned closer. I'm not supposed to do this, but she slid a plate of toast and eggs in front of me. Eat on me. I stared at it. Why? You look like someone who needs a win. I picked up a fork. Thank you, Claire. I'm trying, I said, tears suddenly threatening to fall. I've got a kid coming. Home, no job, no idea what I'm doing. She sat on the edge of the booth. You're still here. That counts for something. I ate slowly, like it was the last meal I'd ever get. Come back tomorrow, she whispered. If I've got leftovers, I'll hook you up. I don't deserve that. Maybe not, but your kid does. I nodded, mouth too full of food and feelings to say anything. That night I sat behind the gas station, knees tucked to my chest, ultrasound in my lap. You hear that? I whispered. Someone was nice to us today. The wind was cold, but I didn't move. You're not even born yet, and you're already my only reason to breathe. The stars looked so far away. I touched the photo. Wish I could do better. For you, I'm sorry. My stomach cramped again. The food had worn off. I pulled out the watch, held it, turned it over, pressed the glass against my forehead. I can sell it tomorrow. Just enough for a couple meals, maybe a place to crash. But my hands wouldn't let go. I stuffed it back in my pocket and laid on the concrete. The ground was hard. My future was harder. You're going to be okay, I whispered. I don't know how, but we will. I closed my eyes. That lie kept me breathing. Asterisk. I was finishing a pitch in the conference room when I saw her through the glass. Alina, hair tied back, makeup streaked, holding her arms like they were the only thing keeping her together. Claire leaned in. Is that? Yeah, I muttered. You want me to tell her to leave? No, I'll handle it. I stepped out. My heart thudded. Her eyes met mine like I was air after drowning. Noah, she whispered. Please. I nodded toward the hallway. Not here. We walked in silence to the back stairwell. Just like before, when she used to sneak in hugs between my anxiety attacks. She turned to me. I made a mistake. I didn't say anything, Marquesti lied. He said he loved me, but he was cheating the whole time. I crossed my arms. He dumped me last week, said I was too much drama. I waited. She bit her lip. I miss you, us. The way you looked at me like I was your whole world. I said flatly. She stepped closer. I didn't know what I had. You did. You just didn't care. I was scared, Noah. I panicked. You laughed in bed with my best friend. Her voice cracked. I didn't think you'd find out like that. I came home with the ultrasound report, I said. I was going to frame it. She reached for my face. Stepped back. Her hand fell. You don't know how hard it's been? She said. No, I scoffed. Try sleeping in your car. Try choosing between food and dignity. Try begging for jobs with a resume no one reads. I didn't know it got that bad, she whispered. You didn't care enough to ask. Tears spilled. I care now. She held her stomach. I still want this baby. I want to raise them with you. I shook my head. You lost that right. We can fix it. No, we're the parents. We should do it together. I repeated, you're not the parent. You're the storm I had to crawl out of. Her mouth trembled. Please, you made me homeless. I know. You watched me leave with nothing. I was angry. I thought you were holding me back. And now, I see you've changed. You don't get to admire the man you helped destroy. She broke then. The sob was raw, loud, and ugly. I turned to go, Noah, don't walk away. I paused. She dropped to her knees. I'm begging you. I looked back. I begged to. You didn't listen. I was stupid, yes, you were. I'm still the mother. Illogically, she stood. What about forgiveness? I've forgiven you, I said. That's why I'm walking away. You don't love me anymore? I hesitated. No, she cried harder. You're really leaving? I already left. You just didn't notice. She grabbed my wrist. What do I tell our child? I looked her in the eye. Tell them the truth. What truth? That you let their father go? Her hand dropped. You've changed, Maine. We'll do that. She turned away, arms wrapped tight. I walked past her, Down the hall, back toward the life I built from ashes. Claire met me at the break room. You okay? No? Want to talk about it? Not yet. She handed me a coffee. You did the right thing. I don't feel right. You feel lighter? Yeah, that's something. I stared out the window. The city blinked back at me like it always had. Do you think I did the right thing for the baby? I asked. Claire nodded. You didn't choose bitterness. You chose boundaries. I smiled faintly. Feels weird. You're just not used to standing tall. I'm getting there. You are? I sipped the coffee. She really thought I'd take her back. She doesn't know who you are now. She used to. Know me better than anyone, and she should have seen this coming. I stared at my reflection in the glass. He's not coming back, I said. Who? The guy who begged her to love him. Claire nodded. Good. Sterisk, are you sitting? Down. Mr. Ward's voice was too calm. Why? I asked, flipping through the final contract. You just closed the biggest deal in this company's history. I blinked. Wait, seriously? National distribution? Full rollout by Q4? You did it, Noah? I thought we were just pitching. I didn't think they'd sign today. Didn't just sign. They offered exclusivity. You knocked it out of the damn park. My mouth went dry. Holy hell, you earned it, he said. Every late night, every revised deck. You made them believe in us. Oh, I said, still stunned. You built this company. I just followed your lead. Now I want. You too lead it. My head snapped up. What? I'm retiring. Wait, what? He smiled. I've been planning this for a while. Just needed someone I could trust. You're serious? Dead serious? I laughed. I don't even know what to say. Say yes. I stood there, frozen. The version of me from a year ago sleeping in a parking garage, talking to my unborn child like they were my therapist, never could have imagined this. Say something. Mr. Ward chuckled. Yes, God, yes, he grinned. Didn't. Think you'd cry? I'm not crying, I lied, swiping my cheek. He patted my shoulder. You're ready. I looked down at the ink drying on the deal I just signed. Guess we both are. Claire ran into my new office carrying 2 coffees and a muffin. You CEO, she screamed. I still haven't processed it, practically. Threw the muffin at me, Noah. This is insane. I know. I mean, I knew you were good, but CEO, apparently I fooled enough people. You didn't fool anyone. You earned this. I looked around at the room. Sleek glass desk, leather chairs, a skyline view that looked like something out of a dream. Claire set down the coffee. What now? I don't know. You do. I thought getting this far would fix everything. She tilted her head. And I still feel scared. Like I'm going to wake up and be back on that curb. Claire nodded slowly. You won't. I used to stare at office buildings like this and wonder what kind of people got to sit up here. And now you're one of them. I pulled out the ultrasound from my wallet. She smiled. You still carry that? Every day? I walked over and taped it to the wall behind the desk. We made it, baby, I whispered. Claire folded her arms. They'd be proud. I turned to her. You think so? I know so. I sat down, spinning slightly in the chair. You've been there since the bottom. Yeah, when your shirt had more coffee stains than buttons. And when I cried in the diner bathroom because I couldn't pay for toast, she laughed. That was some damn good toast, to be fair. I smiled. You never looked at me like I was pathetic. Because you weren't. I felt like it. You were surviving. Now you're thriving. Still feels unreal. Claire took a breath. You should call someone. Who? Someone who needs to hear what you've done. I shook my head. I don't owe them that. No, you don't, she agreed. But maybe you owe you. That I leaned back. They'll see the press release. They'll regret everything. I don't need their regret. Claire smiled. It's how I know you've changed. I tapped the ultrasound gently. I just want to be someone they can be proud of. You already are. My chest tightened. It still scares me, being a dad, doing this alone. You're not alone. I'm not. You've got me. And now a whole damn company. Laughed. That's true. Claire stood. You have a board meeting in 10? God, I forgot about that. Better get used to it, boss. As she left, I looked out over the skyline. Cars were moving like blood through veins. I imagined, pointing one out and telling my kid, that one's us. I traced the edges of the ultrasound. We made it. The intercom buzzed. Mr. Carter, my assistant said, they're waiting in the boardroom.
Yes.
Mr. Carter, I still wasn't used to it. I stood slowly, straightened my jacket, and took one last look at the photo on the wall. For you, I whispered, and I walked out to meet my new life. Asterisk. Next candidate is Marcus Dean, my assistant said. I looked up from the folder and nearly laughed. Marcus Dean? She nodded, sent in a strong resume, said he's dreamed of working here since college. Of course he did, I muttered, then forced a smile. Send him in. He walked through the door like he owned the place until he saw me. He froze. You? Yeah, I said, standing slowly. Me. Hey. He blinked. You work here? I run this place. His mouth hung open. CEO, have a seat. Looked like he might bolt, but his pride made him sit. I leaned back in the chair. Funny, isn't it? Life. He cleared his throat. I didn't know. I mean, I had no idea this was your company. It wasn't. But things change. My didn't come here to start trouble. Good, because trouble doesn't do well in interviews. He shifted. I really need this job, man. I read your resume. You've been bouncing around. He winced. Startups fail. You know how it goes. I do. But I also know when someone's not stable. He looked up. I've changed. You? I asked, folding my hands. Let's find out. He blinked. You're seriously going through with the interview? Why not? You earned this chair. Let's see what you've got. He sat straighter. Okay, give me your pitch, I said. Why should I hire you? He hesitated. I'm a team player, fast learner, driven. Driven enough to steal your best friend's girlfriend. I flinched. Come on, no, I said, keeping my voice even. Sell me. Convince me. He swallowed hard. I've made mistakes, but I've learned from them. I know this company. I believe in what you're doing, do you? Yes, do. You even know what we do? He stammered. Software development.
Consumer side.
Logistic solutions. Generic buzzwords, I cut in. Try again. I leaned forward. You don't know. You thought this was just another shot at getting ahead. But you didn't do your homework. I can learn fast, he said. I always do. I nodded, maybe, but not fast. Enough. He looked at me like I'd punched him. You're not even going to consider me? I already have. And you're not qualified. He stood up fast. That's not true. It is. You're not the man this company needs. You just want revenge. No, I said. I want the best people in this building, and that's not you. You're enjoying this. I thought I would, I admitted, but honestly, I just feel sad for you. He stared at me. You used to look up to me, and you used to be someone worth looking up to. He opened his mouth, then closed it. I lost everything. So did I. But I rebuilt it, brick by brick, alone. I'm sorry, he whispered. I looked him in the eye. That's not enough. He nodded slowly. Good luck, man. You too, I said, already turning 2. The next folder, he hesitated at the door. She still talks about you. I didn't look up. That's her burden. Then he left. Claire knocked gently. So, how'd it go? I sighed. He still sweats when he lies. I knew he applied. HR flagged his name. Did you think I'd reject him right away? No, she said, sitting across from me. I thought you'd let him feel it first. He did. She studied me. Feel better? Not really, she smiled. That's growth. I leaned back. He looked desperate. People change. Maybe, but not enough. You think he would have hired you if roles were reversed? No, I said. He would have laughed in my face. Claire nodded. So why give him the chance? Because I needed to say it to his face. And now, I feel lighter, she grinned. Told you power suits you, I smirked. It's not the power, it's the control. She raised an eyebrow. Same thing. No, I said. Power's about domination. Control's about choice. Claire nodded slowly. So what do you choose now? I looked at the ultrasound on my wall. To focus on what matters. She smiled. He's in your past, exactly where he belongs. Asterisk, the envelope, had no return address. Just my name in her handwriting. I didn't open it for 3 days. But still I read it twice. Then I called the number she left at the bottom. Hello, she answered, voice fragile. Alina, it's me. A beat of silence. You got my letter? They'd meet me at the corner cafe. 1 hour, she whispered. Okay, she was already there when I arrived. Nervous, hair done, makeup perfect. That old instinct to look beautiful when she wanted something. I sat down. Let's not pretend this is normal. She looked down. I wasn't sure you'd come. You said you wanted to talk. She nodded. Thank you. I didn't reply. I didn't write that letter for pity, she started. I wrote it because I couldn't carry it anymore. I raised an eyebrow. Carry what? The guilt? The regret? Why now? She winced. Because I see who you are now, and I'm ashamed. I folded my arms. Not ashamed when? You left me on the sidewalk? Or when Marcus threw me out? Her eyes welled. I know, and I don't expect you to forgive me. Good, I said. I want to be in the baby's life. My jaw clenched. You want access now that the damage is cleaned up? No, she said quickly. I want to fix something I broke. You can't unbreak trust. She looked at her hands. Don't. Expect full custody, or even unsupervised visits. You're saying the right things, I said slowly. But are you willing to live with the consequences of what you did? She nodded. Every day, I leaned forward. You didn't just leave me, you left them. I was scared. I was too, but you rose, she said softly. I've watched from afar. You're amazing. That doesn't erase what happened. I know, she whispered. But maybe I can be a part of their future, even if I failed their beginning. I stayed silent, she added. I've been going to therapy. That's not enough. I know, she said again, tears spilling. But I need to try, please. Looked at her long and hard. You understand this isn't about you anymore, right? She nodded. It's about the baby. It always should have been. And yet, you picked Marcus. She closed her eyes. I was stupid. No, I corrected. You were selfish. She didn't argue. I sighed. I'm not saying no. But there are conditions. She looked up, hopeful. Okay, you'll visit with me present. No solo time. No surprises. No overnights. Everything on my terms, of course. And if I see even one sign you're playing games, I won't. She interrupted. I swear. I stared at her. Don't swear. Just show up. She sniffled. Thank you. I'm not doing this for you, I said. I'm doing it for the baby. She nodded quickly. Of course, I stood up. We'll schedule the first visit next week. That gives you time to prove you're serious. She smiled, trembling. I am. I looked her in the eyes. Don't confuse supervised visits with forgiveness. I wiped her cheeks. I won't. Trust, I said, is earned. And you're starting at 0. Her voice cracked. I know. Picked up my coat. One more thing, yes. Not the same man you left. I know, she whispered, and I'm glad. Claire waited outside the cafe in her car, just like we'd planned. I slid into the passenger seat and exhaled. She was prepared. Claire glanced over. Manipulative or sincere? Both. She nodded. You okay? Yeah, just heavy. She'll play the guilt card. I nodded. Multiple times. Claire started driving. You were calm. That's good. I didn't want to yell, I said. I wanted her to hear me. She'll hear you. I think so. That doesn't mean I trust her. You don't have to. Boundaries aren't cruelty. I looked out the window. She cried. When I said she'd need supervision, let her cry. She said she was ashamed. Good. She should be. I was quiet a moment. It still hurts, Claire. She reached over and squeezed my hand. That's because you're human. It's not because you're weak. I swallowed hard. I just keep picturing the baby's face, wondering what they'll ask someday, Claire said gently. And you'll tell them the truth, age-appropriate but real. I'm not trying to poison them against her. No, but you won't. Lie either. I don't want to raise them in bitterness, and don't. Raise them in truth. Show them how to heal without forgetting. I nodded. That's the plan. We drove in silence for a while, Claire said. You did the right thing today. I hope so. You did, she said firmly. You drew the line, you protected your kid, and you didn't become cold in the process. I looked down at my hand still tingling from where Alina almost touched it. Forgiveness isn't free. No, Claire said. It never is. Sir, is that a baby? I grinned and rocked the tiny bundle in my left arm. Yep, Angela blinked. Did you? Bring them to a board meeting? No board meeting today. It's just investor follow-ups and signing contracts. I reached for the pen with my free hand. I can multitask. Laughter rippled around the office. Even Terrence, our most uptight junior exec, cracked a smile. You're unbelievable, Claire said, stepping in with 2 coffees. I got you decaf just in case. I'm running on fumes, I said. But yeah, thanks. She peered into the stroller beside me. Little one's still knocked out? I nodded. For now, it won't last. She lowered her voice. Sure about bringing them here? This place is chaos. It's exactly why I want them here. To remind me why I keep going. Claire sipped her coffee and gave me a soft smile. You're doing good. I'm doing my best, I said. There's a difference. I know. She nodded toward the baby. Can I hold? I gently passed them over. Claire melted immediately. Look at this face, she whispered. You made this, you. Wild, right? She sat on the edge of the couch, rocking slowly. Still remember when you barely had food. Now you've got an empire and a diaper bag. Fancy combo, I said, chuckling. Mr. Kim from marketing popped his head in. Is the boss baby awake? Claire shushed him. Keep your voice down. They're royalty. Mr. Kim grinned. Noted. Then to me, you really brought them? Not forever. Just today, daycare fell through. Still, he said, I love it. Makes you more human. I never stopped being human, I muttered, signing another form. Just had to survive a while. Claire raised an eyebrow. Want me to block off your afternoon? Please? Please, Mr. Kim added. By the way, your dad energy is off the charts. Right now, I laughed. Better than CEO energy? Well, absolutely. He ducked out and Claire chuckled. You're a walking contradiction. I'm tired, underfed, emotionally unstable, and I wouldn't trade any of it. She stood and handed the baby back. Feed them, then nap. You've earned both. I took my child, and they stirred in my arms. I whispered, Hey, it's okay. Daddy's got you. Later that afternoon, I stood by the window in my office. Baby carrier strapped across my chest. The skyline stretched out like a dream I once had. Back when I slept in borrowed basements and wore shoes with holes in them, a ping sounded from my desk postcard from Mr. Ward. I opened it. A photo of him in front of the Eiffel Tower. On the back, still proud, still watching. You're doing more than fine. Ward, I smiled. Thanks, old man. Claire knocked. Need a break? Come. In. She peeked in. Everything okay? I held up the postcard. Ward says hi. She stepped in. I miss that guy. He misses us too. I think he's bored of Paris already. Claire raised an eyebrow. Who gets bored of Paris? Someone who spent 20 years building a company from scratch? She sat. You ever get scared? All the time. No, I mean of doing it alone. I looked down at the little hand gripping my collar. Every minute she softened. But you're not alone, I know. She hesitated. I could stick around after hours more if that helps. We already do more than enough. She shrugged. I care. I know, I repeated. So do I. Silence settled between us. I finally said, I still hear them crying in my dreams sometimes. Not the baby me. Claire looked at me carefully. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't think I'm whole yet.
No.
You're not supposed to be. But I'm not broken either. Nope, she said. You're healing. I nodded slowly. One diaper at a time, one board meeting at a time. We both smiled. She stood. I'll hold them while you nap on the couch. I can't nap, she pointed. Nap? Or I'm canceling tomorrow's calls. I sighed. You're bossier than me. Someone has to keep the CEO alive. As I dozed on the couch, the baby sleeping soundly in Claire's arms nearby, I felt something I hadn't in years. Not fear. Not survival. Peace. Not the kind that erases pain, but the kind that sits with it and breathes. Claire hummed something soft. You'd make a good mom, I mumbled. She chuckled. Don't tempt me, I smiled with my eyes closed.
Sorry?
I'm half asleep. It's okay, she whispered. That's the first time I've seen you rest without flinching. I trust you, I said. Silence, I think she whispered. I trust you too, but I couldn't be sure. Sleep took me. By the time I woke, the sun had shifted. Claire was gone, but the baby rested in the bassinet beside me. A sticky note on my chest read, You're doing it. Don't forget that. See, I smiled, sat up and looked at the city. Again, not just as a CEO, not just as a survivor, but as a father. Asterisk, hey, you okay? Claire stood at my office door holding 2 coffees. I stared at the open notebook on my desk. Yeah, just writing something. She stepped in. You look like you're about to cry. I'm not. You totally are. I chuckled and wiped my face. Okay, maybe a little. She set the coffee down. What is that? A letter? To who? I tapped the page. To me, the version of me from a year ago. The one sitting on a sidewalk, soaked and starving. Claire, sat across from me. You want to read it out loud? I shook my head. Not yet. Maybe not ever. She leaned back. You've come far. I didn't think I would. She smiled. But you did. I looked down at the page. My handwriting was shaky, but the words had come out fast. Want me to leave you alone? Claire asked. No, stay. I think I need someone here. She nodded and folded her hands in her lap. I took a breath and whispered, Dear me, you survived. Claire sat up. I kept going. Cried on that concrete thinking life was over. But it wasn't. It was just the start. Stopped. My throat caught. Claire didn't speak. I looked at her. How do I even say it all? Say it the way you lived it. One brutal truth at a time. So I did. You didn't break, I read. You bent. You cracked. You fell to your knees, but you never broke. Claire whispered, That's beautiful. I blinked back tears. He needs to hear it. He does, she said. And you needed to say it. I tapped the paper again. I told him he wasn't weak for loving her. He wasn't stupid for trusting Marcus. He was human. Claire said nothing, just reached across the table and squeezed my hand. And then I continued. I told him what came after. Tell me, she said softly, that the baby made it, that we made it, that I learned to sleep again without flinching, that I laughed again, that I became more than a man with scars. You became a father, she whispered. Yeah. I wiped my face again. I told him. You didn't get revenge. You didn't need it. You got peace instead. Claire exhaled. God, that's powerful. I folded the letter shut. I'm not mailing it. Good, she said. It's not for him. It's for you. I nodded. Belongs here. I slid it into the drawer beside the ultrasound photo. Right where it started. She leaned in. Can I ask something? Of course. Do you forgive them? I paused. Parts of them? Which parts? The ones that hurt because they didn't know better? The rest? I looked her in the eye. They have to live with their choices, just like I did. Claire nodded. That's fair. I leaned back in my chair. You know what I remember most from that night on the sidewalk? What? My breath. It was loud, shaky, like I couldn't get enough air, even outside. I remember you saying you felt like you were drowning. I was, Claire asked. And now? Now I'm breathing again. She smiled. That's everything. I turned toward the window. Some days still hurt. They will. But now, I hold my kid and know I'm not him anymore. Claire stood. You want to get lunch? Yeah, I said. But wait. I pulled a small frame from the bottom drawer, just a picture of me and the baby. Claire had taken it. I added it next to the letter and the ultrasound. She looked at it. You're building a shrine? I'm building a reminder of what I've lived through, what I'll never go back to. She smiled. I'll meet you downstairs. Later that night, after putting the baby to sleep, I sat at the kitchen table with a glass of water and no noise. The letter was still in my head, so I whispered it again. You didn't break. You grew. You rose. My phone buzzed. A message from Ward. Just checking in. Still proud of you, I replied. Still healing. Still here. Then I looked over at the nursery door. Just slightly ajar. A warm nightlight spilled through. I whispered, We made it, baby. And I meant it.